Hello again. In isolated towns of the American frontier in the 19th century, the nearest official law, police, sheriff, or what have you, was sometimes a good distance away, and so the folk in the town would make their own arrangements to maintain order. This was typically done by means of what was known as a vigilance committee, which, as the name suggests, kept an eye out for lawbreakers and those whose presence might not be conducive to the public good. The penalties imposed range from beating to driving somebody out of town, or even the occasional lynching. The members of such groups came to be known by the abbreviation of the word vigilance. They were vigilantes. Vigilantes have a rather poor reputation in the modern world, and one seldom hears them spoken of with approval. This is, of course, because in developed nations like Britain and the United States, we have police forces to maintain order and hunt down lawbreakers. The problem is that in this country, the police have become increasingly politicised and are far more eager to deal with people who have posted something questionable about homosexuality on Twitter than they are to deal with burglaries. One quite sees why they should feel this way. It is, of course, a lot easier and safer arresting a middle-class white person for some offence involving social media than it is going after muggers and terrorists. After all, respectable people are not going to resist arrest by stabbing a police officer or biting him. They simply come quietly. This has led to not only the police, but local authorities and the government too, feeling that they can shove law-abiding folk about to their heart's content and fine them whenever they please and generally make their lives miserable. After all, they're not going to fight back, are they? They'll put up with any nonsense thrown at them. The good thing about middle-aged people and middle-class ones is that they live in permanent homes where you can always find them. They don't drift around rented accommodation like the majority of burglars, muggers, gangsters, drug dealers and terrorists. You always know where they are, and so they're easy to fine for speeding, overstaying their time at a car park, putting the wrong rubbish out to be collected, not paying enough tax, and a million other things. You can always get money out of respectable people. It was probably this mentality which prompted the idea of charging people £12.50 a day for driving anywhere at all in Greater London. It must have seemed like a nice little earner. Unfortunately, it was just a step too far and looked to many people, to use a vulgar colloquialism, like taking the piss. The roads in London are in a shocking state with potholes all over the place and drivers already having to pay a fortune to park anywhere and constantly being hit with fixed penalty notices for various minor infractions. Being charged simply for driving down the street each day really does seem a bit much. Perhaps this is why some people have now resorted to vigilante activism, where they vandalise or destroy the number plate recognition cameras which are monitoring the scheme. These people, who are known as the Blade Runners, are taking out cameras at quite a rate over the last few days, and there seems to be no sign of any slackening off in their activities. Sometimes they spray paint over the cameras to obscure their view. At other times they saw the poles down or damage the electrical circuits. While one might sympathise with this kind of thing, it's a bad sign, for it means ordinary people are losing faith in both local and national government, as well as in the police. Many people now, and I'm one of them, feel that the government and police are not concerned with my own interests and they don't care about me. Of course, I'm a little too old to become a vigilante myself, but I would not be surprised if this kind of thing were to spread and also start in other areas of life as well. This is what happens when the rulers stop listening to those whom they rule, and history tells us that it is not an encouraging trend and could easily end in violence.